Hello, my name is William and welcome back to my channel, Simply the Culinarian. On tonight's episode, we're going to be making one of my most highly sold pastries that I make, which is my strawberry swirl cheesecake. For a lot of you who don't know, I run my own at-home baking business and I call it culinary and catering. But I sell a lot of strawberry swirl cheesecakes. Tonight, I am going to be making mini cheesecakes, which this recipe that I'm about to do, the exact same recipe, will make a thick 8 or a 9-inch standard size cheesecake. So feel free to use the same recipe for a normal cheesecake if you may. All right, so first what we're going to do, we're going to start off with the strawberry puree. We're going to start off with 1 pound of frozen strawberries, and we're just going to throw them into a hot pot. To the pot, we're going to add a cup of white sugar. And to that, we're going to add 1/3 cup of water. And I know it may seem like a little bit of water, but those frozen strawberries are going to also give off a lot of extra moisture. So that, we're just going to give that a stir. We're going to give that a stir and let those strawberries cook down until they're softened. All right, let's move along. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our graham cracker crust. And to this crust here, I have 1 1/4 cup of crushed graham crackers. Now, feel free to also use chocolate graham crackers. You can use cinnamon graham crackers, any type of graham crackers. Oreos will do. Any type of cookie crust really that you want to try. Please feel free to be as versatile and creative as you would like. All right, to this, we're going to add 1/4 cup of white sugar. All right, and also to this, we're gonna add 1/3 cup of melted butter. We're just gonna mix this all together till it's nice and coated. And the butter's worked all the way through. Just like such. Make sure all that sugar is blended well through. They should have a nice, coarse, wet look to it. Not too wet, but not too dry, but nice and moist. Now, next, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our pan. Like I said, I'm doing a mini cheesecake for showing purposes to show you guys how to do this, but you can use a full 8 or 9-inch size springform pan. So what we're going to do first is we're going to prepare our pan. You're going to spray it really well because cheesecake has a lot of fat, and fat likes to stick. So we don't want that happening, so we're going to spray our pan really well. All right, and to this, we're just going to add some of our graham crumbs to the bottom. As such. And then we're just going to press down. Oh, and go ahead and preheat your oven to 325 degrees if you haven't already done so. Just going to get this pressed down really good. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bake this at 325 degrees for about 6 to 8 minutes. Hey Google, set a timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes, and we're starting now.
All right, so while this is still cooking, our strawberries are getting kind of soft. They're starting to break up a little bit. Oh, since we're talking about cheesecake, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with how to make cheesecake or what cheesecakes are. Hey Google, what is a cheesecake?
According to Wikipedia, cheesecake is a sweet dessert consisting of one or more layers. The main and thickest layer consists of a mixture of soft, fresh cheese, eggs, and sugar. If there is a bottom layer, it often consists of a crust or base made from crushed cookies, graham crackers, pastry, or sometimes sponge cake.
There you have it. Like I say, cheesecakes are so versatile. You can also take this recipe that we're about to do and you can make it your own. You'll see when we make the batter, if you want to take it a step up and add some chocolate to it, or you can use a different fruit. You can use blueberry. You can use lemon curd. You can do all type of stuff with this with the base batter that we're gonna make for this cheesecake. Let me see how tender. So I'll let that go just a little bit longer. They're almost ready. And what we're gonna do to this when it gets ready, we're gonna use our immersion blender. We're gonna use our immersion blender and we're gonna puree this down. And then we're gonna add, we're gonna make a slurry. So we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to 1/4 cup of water. And we're gonna stir it up real good. And then we're gonna add it to this and we're gonna cook it a little bit longer so it can get nice and thick and make a sauce. But you don't want it too thick. You want it spreadable, but not too thick. And then you don't have to puree this all the way smooth. If you want to leave some chunks of strawberries, by all means, go ahead. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this off for a minute. And we're going to go in with our immersion blender. We're just going to start breaking this up. I like mine pretty smooth. I'm gonna cut this back on. Now, when you make this, if you find that it's not thick enough, sometimes it depends on the berry size. Sometimes the berries may release a lot of extra water. When you make this, if you find that it's not thick enough, just make it a little bit more slurry and add to it a small amount at a time. We're just going to stir in our slurry and we're going to let it come to a boil. Thicken up some. And you'll know right away if you need more slurry. It doesn't take long to thicken up. And I think I do want this a little bit more thicker, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more slurry. So I did another 1 tablespoon of cornstarch to a 1/4 cup of water. I don't think I'm gonna add all this, but I'm just gonna add some of it just to thicken it up just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that did it. And that's our timer. Stop. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove that pie crust from the oven. Set it to the side. We're gonna cut off our strawberries puree. And what I'm gonna do to get rid of some of those air bubbles, and you completely don't have to do this step. Well, I left it a little chunky. Yeah, I want some of those chunks in there this time. I normally make a smooth one, but we can leave some chunks in this time. But other than that, I normally strain it to get rid of some of the air pockets, the little foam at the top, but if you let it cool naturally, it'll settle. Clean up some stuff for a second. I'm gonna let this bad boy hang out on the side. Let your pie crust hang out and cool on the side. All right, now we're gonna work on our cheesecake batter. And what you're gonna need, 24 ounces or 3 packs of cream cheese softened. So I do recommend you sitting this out a couple hours in advance. You're gonna need 1/4 cup sour cream, 1 cup of sugar, 3 room temperature eggs. You don't want those eggs to be cold. You're gonna need about 1/2 tablespoon of real pure vanilla extract. If you're using imitation, I say go for a full tablespoon. But if you're using real, just a 1/2 tablespoon should be all you need. All right. Before we do that. All right, so let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a cream cheese to our stand mixer. I'm doing this backwards for the camera purposes. Get on that. All right. Okay. And just we're gonna start our mixer. Guess we better raise it up first. We're gonna start our mixer, and you just want to beat this cream cheese till it's soft and smooth. occasionally stop it and kind of help your stand mixer out with some of the stuff on the side that might not get caught. You never want to beat this too fast, because one thing you don't want is you don't want your cheesecake to develop air pockets, because it'll bubble up when you bake it if it has too many air pockets, and that's one thing we do not want. All right, from here, I'm gonna add that 1/4 cup of sour cream straight into the bowl. I'm gonna keep blending. Stop it a little bit. Spread down your sides. Keep going. Make sure that sour cream is good and incorporated. Right, from there, we're gonna add that 1 cup of sugar. Yeah, I'm gonna keep mixing. Down your sides, because you want that sugar. You don't want lumps of cream cheese. You want that sugar to get in every single bite. Right, from here we're gonna add 1 egg yolk at a time. Once the first one gets incorporated, we'll add the second one. Stop it. Scrape down your sides. Y'all chop this out. Keep going. Now, from here, I like to do a little technique. I like my cheesecake batter to be extremely smooth. So I know sometimes that even if we soften our cream cheese, sometimes when we mix it, these mixers don't blend everything that well. Even the highest performing mixers as the KitchenAid itself. So one thing I like to do is I like to take a blowtorch and I like to just go around my bowl. And what it's going to do is it's going to heat this bowl up. And it's gonna help melt all that cream cheese. And it's gonna give you a smooth batter. From there, you're just gonna add your vanilla. Backwards. All right. Now, I don't know if you can really see this, but that batter is really smooth. There's really virtually not a lot of lumps. Just a slight few, but those few will melt in the oven. But those big chunks are definitely out of there. So, here, got our cheesecake. I like to add a little bit of batter to the bottom. And from there, take some of that strawberry puree, and this will thicken up more as it cools. Take some of that strawberry puree and add it to the bottom, and just take you like a toothpick and just swirl it around. To the top of this, we're going to add more batter. Fill it up. Add more puree. Swirl it around. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Cheesecake is very simple. It's just a lot of people don't have the confidence when baking it. I've seen a lot of people overbake cheesecake. Use that a little bit later. Now, this is the most important part, the baking process. So, you're gonna bake cheesecake best in a preheated oven at 325 degrees. No higher, no lower. Well, depending on your oven, but 325 degrees. Cheesecakes are gonna bake for 75 minutes. Even with a small one. Even with a small one, it bakes the exact same time as a 8-inch or 9-inch. It doesn't matter. 75 minutes. All cheesecakes are done at 150 degrees. So if you're a person that's not sure if it's done or not, and you have a thermometer handy, between 150 and 155 degrees, cheesecakes are done. I don't care what they look like. If you had your oven too high and it's brown or blah, 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 150 degrees, cheesecakes are done. After that, when the cheesecakes come out, you want to let your cheesecake cool on the stove for an hour, on the counter for an hour, period, just an hour. Before you refrigerate your cheesecake, cheesecakes have a lot of fat, and fat likes to absorb a lot of odors. So, before you refrigerate your cheesecake after resting for an hour, you want to make sure you put some plastic wrap on top, or any type of onion or garlic or anything in your fridge. Your cheesecake will absorb that flavor, and when you go to cut it and taste it, it's going to taste just like that onion, just like that garlic. Whatever you had sitting in that fridge that has a very strong odor, make sure you cover your cheesecakes with plastic wrap. Also, before you unmold any cheesecake, a cheesecake must chill in the fridge at least 8 to 10 hours before you demold it. Because if you demold it and it's still too warm or whatever, you're gonna see it collapse. You do it too early, it's gonna collapse and it's gonna go everywhere. You do it, right before, in the middle, I would say 4 or 5 hours, you're gonna see it it's gonna bungee down a little bit, and that's not what you want. So, I know you've seen a lot of people when they do their cheesecakes in a double boiler. A lot of people don't know you have to do cheesecakes in a double boiler. But you see them wrap foil around, and then what that does is that prevents the water from getting in from the water bath we're gonna break in. I don't do the foil. I just take my cheesecake and I sit it in another pan, and I sit it in a bigger pan, and that's where I add the water, the hot water. So, like such. I'm just gonna fill this with hot water, and it's virtually the same effect. It's better, least expensive. You're not wasting foil. Put it up halfway, and this is gonna go. Like I said, this is gonna go into a 325-degree oven for 75 minutes, 150 degrees internally, and it's done. We're gonna cool it on the counter for an hour. Put plastic wrap on top. Chill it in the refrigerator for an hour before we cut it. And that's gonna be that. So let's get this to the oven. So, lucky for you, I have one that's pre-done. And this cheesecake has been sitting in the cooler for a couple hours, and I have yet to demold it. So, you all are gonna witness the moment of truth with me. And anytime I do a cheesecake, I like to sit something under it so the ring can just drop. So I just have this one sitting on a little cup. But first, I'm going to prepare a little garnish. Now, I normally make my own whipped cream, but for camera purposes, we're just going to use a little bit of Cool Whip. You'll see me make my own whipped cream in a future video. Hey Google, can you set timer for 75 minutes?
1 hour and 15 minutes. And that's starting now.
Prepare a little strawberry. Let's just cut it. Just cut it like this. All right. Kitchen has some of this. Now, unmolding the cheesecake can be very, very, very tricky because if you didn't spray it well enough, it might stick. Some people, maybe they didn't use enough egg, or I don't know, maybe too much sugar, or I don't know. But I know there's some times where even when I've done it, I never know the problem. Maybe I didn't cool it properly. There's a little skim edge around the inside. But with a little technique that I found out, how to get a clean release is I take my blowtorch. Please invest in a blowtorch. A blowtorch is the best thing a baker could have, or in a kitchen, if you're a kitchen person. And what I do is I just go around the sides and kind of heat up the sides to kind of make it release. Just a little quick turn, not too much. Open it up, and there we go. getting this off. Put that to the side. Getting these things off can be tricky. Now, when I do a big cheesecake, I often line the bottom with parchment. The small ones are a little bit more difficult to do that, so we're just gonna take a straight edge spatula and kind of get underneath it. This one don't seem to want to give. This one don't seem to want to give. Oh man, this one is getting ruined. Okay. That's the first time that has happened on me. That one didn't seem to want to give. All right. Anyways, moving along. Oh man, I haven't used Cool Whip in forever. I normally make whipped cream and pipe it, but that would have been another 10 minutes. Let's give yourself a little dollop. I'll arrange your little berry on. Anyways. And voila, you have a strawberry cheesecake, mini cheesecake. And like I say, this recipe will work perfect for an 8-inch cheesecake. Well, that was my show. I appreciate you for tuning in to Simply the Culinarian. And like always, subscribe, like, comment, drop your thoughts down in the comment box. I do read them periodically. This is a new channel for me, and I'm still trying to get some kinks and everything worked out, and I'm trying to get it to grow very rapidly. I do appreciate you all, and have a good night, and look out for my next segment. Good night.